It's so cute. Hi, hello, how are you? My name is Sarah from Sarah's Reading Nook, and today we are going to be filming a plan with me type video. Myself and my cat make bookish videos, and we post them on every Wednesday and Sunday, except for on days when we're sick. Okay, so before I start this video, I just want to tell you that I am the type of person that generally likes to plan when there are events or things that I want to have organized. Not everyone needs to plan, and actually there are times where I don't use my bullet journal or don't use a planner. But because I am such a visual person, I find that sometimes writing down a journal can be really helpful. So before I go into how exactly I am planning, this is my very simple bullet journal. It is black and orange, which is kind of giving me some Halloween colors right now. But generally speaking, I like to have like a very plain sort of cover. So my first tip, if you want to use a bullet journal, is just to use something that you like to look at, that looks aesthetically pleasing, and something that doesn't overwhelm you. For some reason, seeing a nice plain cover just gives me like the idea that I have a blank canvas and that there is so much potential. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have these little bookmarks and book tabs, they can be really helpful, and I like a nice flap because it looks neat and tidy and makes me want to go in. And I feel very special opening it every time. So this bullet journal is this model here. So this is a dotted journal, and from far away it looks pretty plain, but close up, if you use a nice contrasting dark color, you can see like the terms really well. Now, one thing that I have in my bullet journal is a year at a glance page. And so essentially I just put down the month, the numbers of months, and then down the page I write down every single day. And this is just really good to know like how much of the year I have planned and what I think is going on. All of these pink dots are upload days, and you see that I don't have like the entire year filled out. I just have this month and like next month planned. So now I have already done some September videos, and I still have several more that are coming. Now that you saw the year at a glance, I'll show you what my month at a glance looks like. I have all the days in squares, the month, the days at the top, and then any recurring themes at the bottom. And again, using that same sort of color coding, the days are in yellow, and then the days that I am posting a video are highlighted in pink. And here I just have my overall goals. Now, specifically with Vlogtober, I have certain things that I want to accomplish. So for instance, I want to have a TBR and have reading vlogs at the end of each week. So I have a Vlogtober spread, and these are for my Sunday reading vlogs, and I've left spaces to add to them as I go and as video ideas come to me. And I also have some Wednesday fall themed videos that I am also planning here. I find it really helpful if I use like paper so that I can write it down wherever I am. So say for instance, I have a break at work, then I can just sit down and write out my thoughts as they come to me. So my second tip is that you might need more than one type of tool or device. So in this case, I have a folder that I use for Vlogtober, and this is where I can properly have my video outlines for what I would like to do. So my next tip is that when you do have a type of video outline or format, you can basically create a template, and then from there you can copy that template for how you would like to film and copy that into the different documents. So for example, each of my Vlogtober videos, I would like to have them have a certain outline. And so once I have typed and outlined what I would like each of the vlogs to look like, I'll just copy and paste that template to Vlogtober week 1, week 2, week 3, etc. Now I have already added to my iPhone calendar specific post days and what I would like to do for those days. Once I have notes jotted in here and also in my bullet journal, then I can go ahead and basically customize each of the templates for the various weeks. And of course, with something like a reading vlog, you need to have, some room for spontaneity, but I have a general theme for week 1. So for instance, week 1 is going to be a week where I decorate. I have ordered different decor items from Amazon, and I'm doing my best just to wait until that day to do like formal decorations. But there are some things that I'm playing with today, which are the fairy lights behind me. And I'm trying to figure out if I want both of these, if I want, like a yellow, more fall themed one, and have the very white fairy lights in the background, and we will see how I like those. My next tip is to draw inspiration from either Pinterest, Bookstagram, YouTube, whatever you need to, in order to see like what kind of environment you want to have for the videos. So my apartment is very white, and there is a lot of like this sort of like blue color around, and I like mint greens. So I'm already thinking of a color palette, and for Vlogtober, I'm thinking that I'm going to decorate with like a lot of whites, rose gold, mint green sort of colors. Once I have a better idea of exactly how I want each one of the vlogs to go, then I can sort of scavenge items and make sure that I have those for the different vlogs. For instance, if you want to do baking, it's nice to make sure that you already have the recipe and the ingredients at home. I'm still finalizing exactly what I want to do for those. Also, many people have told me that they are looking forward to a Lush favorites video, and Lush just happens to be one of my favorite stores, so I do have a couple of items coming along the way, which I'm going to be excited to incorporate like all throughout the month of October because they will be Halloween themed. Now, next tip. So of course you want to write down different items that you would like to have for October. Specifically, I was looking for spooky October themed books, and I asked you guys for spooky book recommendations on social media, and I had quite a big list. So here I've just written down the title, I've written down who recommended it to me, and also what the status is. Like, do I have this at home already? No, I don't have any of them. Have I requested them from the library? Do I have it in possession? And any book here that I was not able to like request from the library, I will likely need to purchase. So I am lucky that the vast majority of them can be found through the library because like there were way too many recommendations to buy. So I'm so looking forward to getting these books and sharing them with you. So the next question is, of course, like, how do I come up with video ideas? How do I plan them, edit them, etc.? So this, for instance, is my outstanding list for my September videos. And I'm going to use a similar sort of template for October as well. So this here says video, plan, film, edit, thumbnail, upload, and closed captions. So as I'm doing them, I cross it off the list once I have checked all of these boxes. And it's always a lot of fun to check things off of a list. Any video ideas I have, I write them down and also highlight them so I know what is upcoming. So I have video ideas for this month and then video ideas for next month. And so once you have an idea of what you want to make, when they're going to be made, and when they're going to be posted by, it's a good idea to write in exactly like how you're going to tell others about your video. I have different social media ideas here. So for instance, my post ideas, my IG story ideas, and Twitter ideas. So not only for October am I going to be working on like my channel, but also the Top Shelf Society as well. And I have, some idea of exactly what I want to do to plan it. So I have some potential ideas for like giveaways as well. And now the reading journal component is going to be a big part of Vlogtober. So this is a reading journal that was given to me as a present from my partner's sister. So this is where I write down like all of my thoughts on different books. I do get asked a lot about how I write notes for books. So if I am writing down anything into a physical book, I usually, will highlight and write down any notes in the margins. But if I'm using something like this, like a reading journal, I'll write down, like the book title, the author, plot notes, and then sometimes I will like erase or cross out pre-planned headings. It's really important for me to know like what my favorite quotes were. Many people are better than me at like remembering exactly what happens in books. And I do, you know, remember to a certain extent, but not like as much detail as others. So writing down plot notes really helps me, you know, understand that. And of course, if I have a book club pick, then I use like 2 pages and I write down as many notes as I possibly can, because like at the Top Shelf Society, we go into detail about the book. So I write additional things like what was the tense, what was the narration, what were symbols in the book, themes, which are very important, plot notes. So I tend to pretty like extensively write those in. And of course, what the significance I think of the book is, and if I think it is a top shelf read. So I'm going to continue using this in October, and specifically Vlogtober, so I'll be able to show you sort of in real time how I use this journal in order to write down my notes for certain books. And so what are the items that I have collected so far? So I have collected these fairy lights, and they just seem really like nice and cozy, and you guys can tell me how you like them. My succulents have gotten new homes, and I'll talk about these a little bit more later, but it is sort of a marble appearing succulent planter, so they look very happy there. There's also a drainage hole as well as a little coaster beneath it. Now I mentioned that I like rose gold, and so I have some rose gold candle holders that are geometric and prism shaped, and I think they just look so cool. So these succulent planters are round, but I also have the same design, but just like geometric looking ones here. My little white pumpkins are coming, and I have some eucalyptus leaves as well that I'm going to use to decorate around the house. I will not show you my little costume yet. However, I will show you this little guy. So this is my new little cat mug, and I want to have it with me as I am vlogging. It's so cute. And I will also be using items that I have used in previous Halloween seasons to decorate. So I'm excited to show you what my favorite candles are. I have some Bath & Body Works candles, and I have not used any of them yet, but I hope to. It's going to be really hard, but I do have a Lush order coming in today with those Halloween items, and I am going to wait until my week 1 Vlogtober video to like smell them and tell you guys about them. So I'm keeping them in a box until then. So expect that video for the first Sunday of October, because that is exactly when Vlogtober is going to start. Oh, and I almost forgot, but I have something very fun planned for my Vlogtober intros. There may be an illustration coming our way, and I may be totally in love with it. So look forward to Vlogtober, because I definitely am. And I can't wait to show you how I'm going to decorate, and I am becoming impatient and want to see how it's all going to look. And so now I am going to tell you the Portuguese word of the day. So the Portuguese word of the day is livro, livro. So for example, adoro os livros. E tu? So I love books. And you? Anyhow, that is everything for today. I am excited for Vlogtober, and thank you so much for watching. I hope it was fun. I hope it kind of shows you that, you know, you can plan for things with a bullet journal, without a bullet journal. You can even plan without anything really, except for your mind. But there are many different ways to do so. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead of you, and I'll see you soon. That's everything for today. Bye.